What's up guys, Chris here and welcome to a new Destiny video today. This time we're looking at the Vanguard weapons coming to Destiny in the House of Wolves expansion. If you don't already know, there has been a huge leak on all the weapons and gear available from the vendors, and earlier today I did do a breakdown of all the Crucible weapons, so if you do want to check that out, there will be a link in the description as well as an annotation at the end of the video. So we do not know for sure if this is going to be exactly the way they are going to be in the full game, and I'm going to assume it's not. However, I still decided to take a look at them and give my 2 cents on which weapons I think are going to be good and which ones not so much. After all, it's pretty much only the perks that are going to change either way. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Now, moving on to the Vanguard weapons, I actually noticed something really interesting. We're going to see the return of 4 old Vanguard weapons. Some of them I think you're going to be really excited about, but some of them not so much. One of them is this gun, the POR 1562, aka the Dr. Nope. Super high fire rate, really low impact, nothing too special. Shares the exact same cosmetics as the Dr. Nope. Nah, the Dr. Nope was not a good gun, unfortunately. This one is going to have glass half full, perfect balance, hammer forged, armor piercing rounds, and third eye. As I said, it's just not going to be a good gun. It has really good perks in all honesty, but it's just not a good gun. But this one is going to be exciting for you guys. The Shadow Price is returning. Exact same stats, exact same cosmetics again. The perks are going to be Persistence, Quick Draw, Hammer Forged, Armor Piercing Rounds, and Life Support. Is it the strongest perk set ever? No. But it's still a fantastic gun. I'm really looking forward to getting this gun. It'll probably be one of the first guns I buy in the expansion. It also seems as though the Devil You Know is essentially making its return here. It does not have identical stats, but it's very similar even in looks. The perks are Return to Sender, Quick Draw, Single Point Sling, Skip Rounds, and Final Round. Again, this could be the final round does more damage. It could also be a kill with the final round speeds up reloads. I think this one is going to be very strong for PvP, even for PvE. The only real downside to it is that the range is very low, but it has very good base stability, very high impact. In general, this is just like the Devil You Know is returning, and it can't really get any worse than the Devil You Don't, that's for sure. This looks like a solid hand cannon, nothing too spectacular, but very solid overall. Moving on to the Pulse Rifles, this one again has Head Seeker, and the middle tier perks are Hammer Forged, Sended, and Perfect Balance. Now it seems weird that both Hammer Forged and Sended are on there. It would surprise me if they don't change it, because it's basically making one perk obsolete. And then the final perk is going to be Hipfire. I don't think this one is going to be a very strong pulse rifle, unfortunately. The perk set just isn't very strong. This next pulse rifle, however, does look a lot better in my opinion. It's a fairly low impact and high fire rate pulse rifle, which I prefer. And this one has Grenadier, high caliber rounds, Sended, Perfect Balance, and full auto. For PvE, again, you know, it's a pulse rifle, it's not going to be that great, but if you do like using pulse rifles for PvP in particular, this one could be very strong for you. Personally, I've always thought it was weird that people don't like the high fire rate pulse rifles over the low fire rate pulse rifles. I think this one, if you absolutely have to use a pulse rifle in PvP, this is going to be a great option for you. Moving on to the scout rifles, this one in particular looks really weak in my opinion. Unfortunately, it has Mulligan again, which is a really weak perk for scout rifles. Snapshot, lightweight, and high caliber rounds are just not very strong either. There's really no room for customization here because all the perks are just weak. And then the last perk here is Outlaw, which allows you to reload a lot faster after getting a precision kill. No redeeming factors to this gun whatsoever. It's just not going to be any good. You know, the stability is too low, the fire rate is really low. Even though the impact and the range is great, there's just nothing good about this weapon in my opinion. This next scout rifle, however, looks a lot stronger. Again, we share the same low fire rate and high impact, but the stability is a lot better at a cost for the range, which I do like because stability is important on a scout rifle. And then again, we have a final round based perk. Again, I can't say for sure if it's going to be more damage on the final round or a kill with the final round will speed up reload. Not entirely sure. The middle tier perks are Field Scout, Lightweight, and also armor piercing rounds. This is a really strong lineup. Agility not so much, but Field Scout and armor piercing rounds are just great perks for any scout rifle. And to top it off, the final perk is Firefly. And as we all know, Firefly is an extremely strong perk, allowing your enemies to combust completely upon getting a headshot. We all know and love the Fatebringer, and Firefly is essentially what makes the Fatebringer that great. This gun has the same exact perk, and I think you guys are gonna love it. Moving on to the fusion rifle, we have another returning weapon that you may not notice immediately, but look closer here. We have a relatively fast firing fusion rifle, pretty good impact, overall pretty good stability and range as well. The first perk here is performance bonus, where on spawn you will occasionally get more ammo. The next one is accelerated coils, then we have agility and skip rounds, accelerated coils all the way here, no doubt about that, and then we have a final round based perk. I'm thinking it's gonna be a kill with the final round will speed up reloads. Now if you guys remember the Light Beware, this is essentially that gun returning, just with slightly different cosmetics. I'm definitely excited to see this gun return. I quite enjoyed that fusion rifle and I can't wait to get my hands on this one. Now do keep in mind that it's going to be a pain in the ass to play against it in PvP because it is just a monster. The next gun here is the shotgun. Interestingly enough, there is no name to it, but essentially it is the Comedian, which is now orange instead of blue. Exact same base stats, very similar perk lineup. We have spray and play, field scout, perfect balance, single point sling, and final round. Is this going to be a good shotgun? Not really. I was never a fan of the Comedian, but if you do like the Comedian, you'll probably like this one as well. The problem for me is that the range is just not very good. And the one from the Crucible Quartermaster is going to be way stronger. The sniper rifle also looks very similar to something we've seen before, the Epitaph. Very similar base stats, but the perks at least are very different on this one. We have unflinching, snapshot, field scout, skip rounds, and clown cartridge. If this one had armor piercing rounds, it would basically be the new LDR, which I would not complain about because I love my LDR. But overall, it looks like a pretty solid sniper rifle, not so much for PvP, but for PvE it could definitely be very strong. But then again, for PvE, something like unflinching is basically a wasted perk. Clown cartridge is not the greatest perk in the world, but field scout makes up for that. I don't see this one being a particularly amazing sniper rifle, but it's definitely not going to be super bad either. Moving on to the launcher, this one has cluster bombs. We also have perfect balance. And then we have what looks like Send It. I've never seen Send It on any rocket launcher. I might just be looking at that wrong. And then we have Heavy Payload, I think. It might be Javelin as well. I'm not entirely sure. I tend to swap around on these two perks. If Send It is on this launcher, that seems weird. It may be a mistake. Maybe I'm just forgetting some perk icon here. And then the last one is Third Eye, which is not a great perk on any launcher, really. I don't see any purpose to it whatsoever. But maybe you do. Let me know in the comments if there's any purpose to Third Eye on a rocket launcher. I really don't think there is. To me, cluster bombs is really the only redeeming factor on this rocket launcher. It's not the greatest, it's not the worst. It's going to be a lot better than the Valedictorian and the Triple O thingy that you can buy right now. But it's still not the most amazing launcher. If you do have something like the Hunger of Crota, I still think that is going to be much stronger. And then last but not least, it is the machine gun. And again, we have something we've seen before. Isn't that the Swarm? Oh yes, it most certainly is. This is a white Swarm machine gun. We have persistent, perfect balance, hammer forged, skip rounds, and grenadier. Extremely low range, pretty good stability. Exact same cosmetics except it's white. You know, it's the Swarm returning back. If you like the Swarm, you're gonna like this one. Unfortunately, again, there is no field scout, which I'm very disappointed about. I love my field scout machine guns, but it is what it is. As I said, if you like this one, you're gonna like this one. That was it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you do want to check out the one on the Crucible weapons, there will be an annotation on screen right now, as well as a link in the description. Let me know what weapons you are excited about. I'm sure many of you are very excited about the Shadow Prize coming back, even though it's not going to be called the Shadow Prize. But yeah, let me know about that down below in the comments. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and if you're new, please feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video. Peace.